You know, I've been to breakfast with the person that I'm talking about. And I'm gonna show y'all after we. Okay. I'm gonna show y'all. Y'all can see it.
Real life.
It ain't real life. Just say Reallyfe Street Starz. Know what time it is. Reallyfe Street Starz. We got him back in the building. The original, the originator, the one and only. Pimpin Ken, or Ken Ivory, whichever one I want to say. Welcome back to the couch. Welcome. It's been a while.
Yes, sir. It's been a minute.
I see you got some people with you. Let's take the time out to see who you got with you, man. Yeah, if you don't mind, Miss Young Lady, Bubbles.
Hey, it's Bubbles from Pressure Clothing at Big T.
Oh yeah, we've been seeing you going live. Hold on, wait, keep the microphone for a second. We've been seeing you going live, Bubbles. Right next to shout out dog Katie the jeweler at Gym City.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you right there in the pocket of it. How does it feel to be at Big T and kind of running it up right there?
It feels great. I like it. There's a lot of walk-through traffic there, so it's really good for me. It's going really well.
How does one get the name Bubbles?
I'm a bubbly person.
There you go.
So that's it.
There you go.
I'm a very bubbly person. So yeah.
I heard that the most hated type of African American woman is the bubbly black woman. Is that true?
That is so true. That is so true because people, I feel like they like to, instead of calling me Bubbles or Bubbly, they like to say that I'm like a white girl, or they say that I'm, what's the other one that I get a lot? Bougie. Yeah, I definitely get that. So, yeah, it is. It's hard being a bubbly person. It is. It is.
Yeah, a lot of men love it. A lot of men hate it. Yeah. All right, well, there you go. Behind us is my dog Trey. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sir. HHF.
HHF, man. What's good, man? Plain Trey, man. Plain Trey DFW on Instagram, all that. They might call me Ben Tager sometimes too, man.
I'm fucking with that shirt, brother. That's a nice
appreciate it, man.
No, for real, fly. All right, Ken, what's been up since last time we seen you, man? I ain't gonna lie, I've been seeing you going viral as of late. You seem to always stay in the algorithm.
Well, I have a saying, and me and Bubbles was talking about it upstairs. It's about positioning yourself. A lot of people set goals, but I don't set goals. I just position myself to win. So everything I do, it's all about position. It's all about strategy, right? So coming up here in the initial stages 2-3 years ago, it was a position. It led me to 19 Keys. It led me to the Breakfast Club, to Drink Champs, and then that led me to Michael Cox and Connect with Johnny, the more European, I would say, type of settings, right? So, it's just, going viral, but positioning yourself to go viral, staying relevant. I remember 50 Cent and I had a conversation. We were shooting a video, PIMP, and we was in LA. We was at a mansion. And I was so happy that my book was doing well. I was on the New York Best Time Seller. And I said, 50, my book is #1. And 50 looked at me, said, do it again. He said, you only get one time to be Pimpology. He said, I only had one time to be Get Rich or Die Trying. He said, Ken, you got to keep reinventing yourself. And so, thanks to 50, man, I've been on a consummate journey to reinvent myself. So
definitely. Now you've been doing your big one. You've been doing your big one. Well,
I gotta take my glasses off. Some shit.
Go. Yeah, come on now.
I see movement.
So, we want to get right to it, man. I just want to speak on the virability that you've been going on, and shout out Boss Talk. You went over there and sat down and spoke with him, and once again, it happened on Reallyfe Street Starz where we spoke of an infamous tape that Pimp C had.
Absolutely.
Of one of music industry's darlings that he had and that you had laid eyes on. And it's been just floating around. And again, I seen it going again on Twitter as far as just trending with yourself speaking about it.
But have you seen the comments?
Yeah, I've seen the comments.
one guy said, Jay-Z gonna kill you. I was like, man, I ain't even say no name. He's like, Jay-Z gonna kill you. Don't play with New York. And guys like, man, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't have said this. Come on in, Bubba. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have said this and you shouldn't have said that. And I'm like, man, I didn't say anything. I said, I never said a name. All I said was a famous R&B chick and a super duper rich guy that was in the industry, that was in the rap industry. And people they just went crazy with it. They said what they wanted to say. Everybody had their own analogy and stuff like that. And, you know, man, everywhere I go, Joker, everywhere I go, people ask me about that tape. It's like, I'm like, I can't live it down. You know, even when I was on Boss Talk a couple weeks ago with Bubbles, we was promoting our establishment pressure that's at Big T's. You know, he was asking me about it. I said, bro, let's let it go. You know what I'm saying? He said, no, kid, everybody wants to know who was the chick on the tape. Now, my thing is, you know, if Pimp C was alive, right? You know, unfortunately, my brother's dead. Y'all know Pimp C was my best friend. If he was alive and he gave me permission, I would speak on it. Because at the time that I seen the tape, he never gave me permission or he never put it out. I would be a slime ball, no good, rotten dog.
Okay.
If I put that information out there.
Okay.
But they still call me a slime ball, no good, rotten dog because I won't give them the information. So I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. But all the thing I can tell people out there in TV land is that use your imagination. A R&B chick that's really big at the time and a rapper that was really big, that was extremely rich. At that time, we're talking about Pimp C died 08, so go back past 08. And you would get, it's 07 that he showed me the tape. You'll get a pretty much glimpse of what it is. So you got to use your own imagination. Now, there's some people, you know, that's in the circle of Pimp C, and they said it. You know, I don't know if y'all picked up what they was putting down, but they said it quite a few times. You know, Bobo, what's his name? The guy,
Bobo Luciano.
Yeah, he knows who it is. 17 know who it is. I'm not the only person. So when Vlad asked Boosie, do you think Pimpin Ken seen a tape with a R&B chick? Boosie told him like, man, I don't want to talk about that. But see, Vlad, he's saying all this stuff because he don't think that, you know, I actually seen the tape and that I was trying to clickbait. Yeah. But if you remember the conversation, it was not about me seeing the tape, bro. It was about Bubble trying to compete with me. Bubble, what you call it, Luciano? Yeah, that's my nigga though. He compete with me about who knows the most about Pimp C. I said, I bet you ain't seen the sex tape. That's how that conversation started. It was never about no clickbait. I was never trying to get no attention. Boss Talk put that shit out and that shit went viral. And I didn't have nothing to do with it going viral. I didn't tell him to put it out. I never had any intention. I would have never mentioned on no other platform. It was just two people that really knew Pimp C was having a dialogue, and we was kind of like, he was kind of like trying to one up on me. I'm like, dude, what, you know, I'm like, you know, so what you talking about, man? Pimp C my guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody know that Pimp C is my guy. And, you know, but he said Pimp C is his guy too, which he is his guy. But we was trying to say who guy was he the most, and that's how that conversation slipped out.
Dang, well.
But it was never meant to be a clickbait, you know, just in case people want to, you know, a lot of people think it was because it went so viral, people think I was trying to do it intentionally, but that wasn't my purpose.
We have a hypnotist here who was gonna hypnotize you.
Okay.
And we're gonna have to we're gonna have them tell you're gonna have to tell us what you know. We're gonna blame it on
Hey, I got so much game, man. All type of shit might spit up out my mouth. Y'all better not hypnotize me.
Yo,
man.
goddamn.
And we all gonna get indicted.
Man, no. Hey, like you said, out of respect, you know, like you said, Pimp was here, you know, and gave the okay. Yeah, we all gonna tell it. It'll be a tell-all party, but since he ain't, we gonna leave it at that. But for those who know, like you said, those who know.
Can you not unsee the tape in your mind?
Hey, man, I can put it to you like this. And I'll get, this the closest I give to a hint. You know, I've been to breakfast with the person that I'm talking about. And I'm going to show y'all after we
Okay.
I'm gonna show y'all. Y'all can see it. So, I mean, I was really. A lot of people don't know this, but I was really deep into the industry. You know, like I said, a lot of people don't know. Back then, I was young, so I made a lot of mistakes, and I was in the game. So when I came into the industry, I was in the game. So I had a lot of beautiful women. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of women doing everything for anything. So that was the difference between me and a lot of these other guys that, that was in the industry. I was actually getting money from the industry, and I actually, I dealt with a lot of the celebrity women, a lot of celebrity women, you know what I'm saying? Y'all might have seen them, like if one chick, she gave me a kiss on camera. She's super, super, super famous. And I brushed her off, that shit went viral, but, we didn't, I've been around a lot of shit, man. Just put it that way. So the person I'm talking about, I'm gonna show y'all on camera. Me and her sitting down, having breakfast.
One last question about this tape. How does he have this tape?
Well, it was on VHS. So let me hold on. Y'all got to understand. This what everybody don't understand is that Pimp C been in the studio with a lot of people, right?
Okay.
And a lot of people, do a lot of things in studios. A lot of your famous actresses and a lot of famous rappers and rapists or whatever they call the female rappers, they be doing all kind of stuff before they get to the top.
Right.
I mean, I got partners that then down a lot of these R&B and rap chicks, you know what I'm saying, before they made it to the top. So if whatever happened, it happened during the time that it wasn't really popping. But Pimp C is in the studio and he got a camcorder. And he was just, doing the stuff that niggas do in the studio. He was just filming it. But, it wasn't nothing to catch, catch somebody out of pocket or something. It was just, that's the shit they do in the studio.
Right.
Bras get down every day in the studio. You know what I mean? It was, so you wouldn't even think of this bra at this time as, who she is today. You know what I'm saying? She wouldn't even be famous.
So it's just like you with your boys and you just got a camera.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I say too much, y'all figure it out, but I can put it to you like this.
That's what we're trying to do, kid.
I'll put it to you like this, man. I'll put it to you like this. Just know that Pimp C worked with a lot of people. And y'all can figure that out. He worked with a lot of people. He been in a lot of studios.
Let me ask.
And he's seen a lot of stuff.
Bubbles, do you know?
About what?
Yeah, give her the mic. Yeah, do you know? Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I've actually been asking him who.
Oh, damn.
I've been throwing out names, Ashanti, Beyonce, but
I don't know nothing about none of that, man.
so no, I don't know. Maybe he'll tell me later.
Okay, all right. Give the mic back. All right, damn. All right, I mean, hey, listen. I'm gonna as you get up there. Further in age, and you're dinging that bell on. I'm gonna be like, tell us. Oh.
Hey, the funny thing about it is talking about dinging that bell. A lot of people, they checked out before I checked out. You know what I'm saying?
Man, listen, you done lived
so
a few lives.
So I've been holding on to it for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And if you know, you know. But it's more so like even when we be at Precious at Big T, when we be at the store, she be Bubbles always asks me, she be like, hey, who's who? I like, man, I can't tell you. If I tell you, I got to kill you.
I won't tell.
She won't tell.
Speaking of you having a long life, why do you think it is like, I do a lot of other interviews and a lot of pimps die very early. What is that about? Well,
it's just young black men don't go to get checkups. You know what I'm saying? They don't go to the hospital, Like me, I'm a diabetic. I've been diabetic for 20 years. But the thing about me is I go do regular checkups. You know what I'm saying? I try to eat, in most cases, properly. You know what I'm saying? I take my medicine and I try to focus on when I see myself slipping, or if I feel like some numbness in my foot or something like that, or if I feel my mouth dry, the stuff that diabetics go through, you know what I'm saying? I immediately check myself. But some people, you know, they usually go and they wait till it's too late. And then, you know, they end up dying, you know, of bad health. But then a lot of them die because, you know, the street has changed. The pimping ain't the same no more. You know, when you think about the pimp game, man, you know, you go on any track, anywhere in the country, you hear about somebody getting killed. At least once a year, somebody gets shot over a girl because these dudes, you know, they got the ABCs, but they ain't got the XYZs. You see, a lot of them are wonder breads and not thoroughbred. They got to wonder about their bread. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
They're not
Amen.
thoroughbreds. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Hey, man, say, man.
Do pimps engage in fisticuffs? I was watching Mac Rooster a couple of weeks ago, and he had got into it with a cat, and there was a term used. They said he ran out of pimping. The term used was you ran out of pimping.
Well, I'll put it to you like this. I wrote a book, and in my book, I explained that pimping is a non-contact sport. You know what I'm saying? So what I mean by that is that, you know, it's a skull game. It's a mind game. And a lot of times, you know, these guys don't even realize that when they're dealing with these females, it's mental, you know what I'm saying? But most of them physical. So like if I had a pack of cigarettes and I smoked up my cigarettes or I left them on that couch or something like that, what I'm gonna do? I'm looking for my cigarettes because I can't find them. Well, that's what these dudes be doing with their game. They be looking for a game and can't find no game. You know what I'm saying? Because they ran out of game. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Not specifically talking about no individual, but, you know, I be out there with them brothers all the time. And they'll tell you, I always tell them, man, you know, hey, man, you know, my first girlfriend was my Nina. My 9mm. I love my bitch. That was my bitch. You know what I'm saying? Me and that bitch went everywhere together. You know what I'm saying? We went to bed together, everything. But when I got into the game and I went to New York, or DC, excuse me, they told me I had to give up my bitch. They had to give it up to Nina. And one of the OGs was like, man, it's a non-contact sport. He said, man, you know, we pimp through it. You know what I'm saying? We don't fight through it. We don't shoot through it. We pimp through it. You know, and that was one of the hardest things that I tell the brothers on the blade. I said, I gave my pistol up. And I haven't carried a pistol since. You know what I'm saying? I didn't need it because, you know what I'm saying? My game, it's just something about that pistol that make you feel like you the boss, it makes you real rowdy, you know? Cause I used to my pistol, a nigga, I be riding a joker, nigga look at me crazy. I be like, nigga, what the fuck you looking at? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The nigga look at me like, now I ain't got no pistol. I was like, man, dude tripping. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? So that pistol make you feel like King Kong around here. So that's the reason why we don't promote that on the blade. We don't promote violence. We don't promote that. We don't promote beating up a woman. We don't put hands on a woman. We put plans on a woman. A man that beat a woman, you know what I'm saying, in the game, you know what I'm saying, he subjected himself to all type of domestic violence. He subjected himself to going to jail. Now you ran out of game, and the reason why you're in the game is because of the ING. The ING mean I'm not going, send the bra. So now, you know what I'm saying, you take it on a whole nother criminality that can take you out of your character and out of your game and off the streets. You know what I'm saying? You're going to take if you on the chessboard, you're going to be a piece off the chessboard. So that's one of the things that's one of the reasons why I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want to beat a chick up and she can call the police on me and I can go to jail. I didn't want to sell drugs because I know I can go to jail. I didn't want to carry a pistol because I know I'm an ex-felon and they can hit me up with the trigger lock. I wanted to be a successful person in that game, and I wanted to have a career. And that's why I had one of the longest careers in the game. That's why they call me the best that ever did it and got away with it, because I actually was one of the best that did it and got away with it. You know what I'm saying? When the laws changed their laws, I changed my laws. What? Human trafficking? Right. I'm quit. You know what I'm saying? There you go. I quit. Y'all, I could go to jail for life for pimping. I quit. You know what I mean? And that's what brothers don't understand. When them two brothers got into it, you know, somebody sent me that video, you know what I'm saying? And Rooster is like one of my partners. You know, he's a guy that used to come to my store all the time, and I used to talk to Rooster all the time, you know what I'm saying? And the only thing that I can say is that, you know, they in a environment now where, you know, it's a little bit more intensified. You know, until they start wearing gaiters and minks and they start wearing jewelry again and pulling up in that whip, man, they're not going to feel like no gangster. If you got gym shoes on, that go back to the gun. You going to want to box. If you got on some gym shoes, but if you got on a Armani or a Versace suit, you got on some Ballys and you got on some jewelry, you ain't trying to fight. That's why we didn't fight. Because, like, man, dude, they finna mess up my suit.
Come on.
Man, you made a lot of sense, man. That makes a lot of sense. Man, I gotta ask you something. I seen a old clip of Pimp Snooki, right? Mm-hmm. And he was talking to this chick, and she had a woman for a pimp. Mm-hmm. Do you believe in studs being pimps?
Well, you know what, man.
Is that
they asked me that on a major documentary. I gave them the most simplest answer I could give. You know, it's a male and it's a female, right? There's two different counterparts, right?
Right.
So if a woman went to LA and she was pursuing acting, she'd be an actress, right? Mm. A guy would be an actor, actor. You know what I'm saying? If a woman went to be a waiter, wanted to wait on some place, she'd be a waitress, and he would be a waiter. So I gave the analogy that the closest she can get to a pimp is a pimptress. She can't be a pimp because, you know what I'm saying? That's a male terminology. So if she's a pimptress, whatever that means, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I would think that would be the appropriate terminology for females who are whatever studs who believe that they should be in that lifestyle. What you think?
That's essentially the same thing then, what you're saying. If a waiter and a waitress is the same thing, so a pimp and a pinterest, same thing.
Without being it's not offensive. What can a pimp just do that a pimp can't do? What can a pimp do that a pimp just can't do?
They can do the same thing. So you tell me. I don't. In my eyes.
Okay, y'all. She said they can do the same thing.
I don't think that they can.
Well, hold on. The thing I'm finna give you. I'm gonna tell you why. Is I believe that a female can never say she a pimp because what a pimp can do that a pimp just can't do. He can go to the Ace Hardware. He can get some duct tape. He can duct tape some money on the wall. He can stick his dick out and piss on it. The pimp just can't do that.
You gotta swing off a monkey bar.
She gotta swing off a monkey bar.
So let me ask you, back in, again, the game, is way behind you, but back in your heyday, would you have in 2026, if the young Pimpin Ken, would you have put a transvestite on your roster?
Man, I would never put a transvestite or anything of that nature because, first of all, I don't subscribe to that lifestyle. You understand what I'm saying?
So you can't even get down with the money you make.
No, you got to remember, I did 10 years in prison without a woman. You know what I'm saying? So I don't look at men as women. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no problem with a woman or a man thinking he's a woman because, that's their prerogative. But me personally, I would never have that on my roster because, first of all, it's not. I'm trying not to, because you get banned for so much stuff. So I'm trying not to say the wrong thing. I'm trying to tread lightly, but all my sisters and my brothers out there that believe that they have a certain lifestyle. Hey man, if you LBGT, I support you if that's what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? I had no problem with that. But me personally, would I ever have a man in my stable? Of course not. And you know what? And that's crazy that you said that because you know what I get often, Rooster? A joker is that, hey man, you can't pimp me. I said, man, I know I can't pimp you because you ain't no female. I said, you ain't no female. You ain't got no heels or no miniskirt and you ain't about to go to work. So you know what I'm saying? And I said, any man that say that Ken is pimping now because he's selling them a DVD or he got some cologne for sale, I think that they got the glory and the shame misplaced. You know what I'm saying? And I think they need to reconfigure that statement and say that, you know what I'm saying? Because see, when Ken, what's that dude named Finesse? He said, when I do it, it's a problem. When they do it, it's cool. It's cool. When they do it, when I do it, it's a problem. So what do that mean? If Walmart sell them some shoes or Nike sell them some shoes, they'll buy it repetitively. If I sell them some cologne or if I sell them a DVD, then I'm trying to pimp them. You know what I'm saying? Which to me, you're saying you're a hoe.
Hey man, nah, for real.
Yeah, I can't
quit saying that.
Speaking of the trans community. Boosie was having a topless pool party. Have you ever been?
No.
And they were asking, is it cool if the trans community it comes? And he was like, we're not inviting the trans community to this particular affair. Do you feel like, and that's fair from Boosie? Like,
well, I think that lifestyle is an alternative lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so it's a matter of preference. You know what I'm saying? So, Boosie said something that I kind of agree with him. He said, if two men is kissing on the TV, what is that type of message you sending to your children? And I think that there have to be some gray lines, and there got to be some lines that we draw in the sand, when it comes to, certain lifestyles, because it's alternative, meaning that, it's a choice, it's a freedom of choice. People can make that choice, and like if I'm walking and I'm in Lenox Mall where it's a lot of gay men at, all the time. And if a man looking at me a certain type of way, I feel offended because I have not subscribed to that lifestyle. So why are you looking at me like, you trying to be, flirting with me? I mean, to me, I think that our brothers and sisters in the trans community, they should, kind of like say, okay, well, if we're going to choose this lifestyle, then we should create our own environment, which, in some cases in Atlanta, you see people, they have their own environment where they can cohabitate and they don't have to worry about people being offensive to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think Boosie just didn't want, them folks to take, the women he got, because hell, they be trying to secretly jump back and forth with the motherfucker.
I don't know about all that, man. I mean, how you know all that, Joker? How you know what they be doing, man? You got to answer that. Then I got to ask you, how do you know what they be doing, man?
I don't know, man. I would assume.
Know. Okay, well, don't speak on what you don't know.
I'm saying
man.
like a lady walking around with a dingling. That seems like a problem to me. Speaking of Boosie, though, I got to ask you, when you saw what happened with him and Vlad,
right?
Give me the math on this from your look. He was making $25,000 an interview, and because he saw 6ix9ine was making what at the time he thought 40, he asked for a price increase.
Well, first of all, let me give you the philosophical perspective, right? As a leader in our community who lead 40,000 people, in my organization, Hip Hop Fraternity,
yes,
and who pushes, excellence in our community, who also pushes independence. I understand that there are a certain group of people who have machinations and strategies, right, in order to marginalize and to disrupt what we got going on. Because you and Rook and bro here, y'all have black media. You know what I'm saying? Y'all represent black media. Charlamagne represent black media. All the other brothers, Boss Talk represent black media. I think that it was a concerted effort, right? It was a strategy to get Boosie that money for protracted periods of time in order to disrupt black media, right? Because if you give Boosie $25,000, right, and you give it to him on a continuous basis, when Rook called him and say, man, come on, do Reallyfe Street Starz, he gonna have that perception in his head that he need $25,000. So what that does is that hurt black media organizations like yourself, and it pretty much precludes you guys from actually getting that interview when traditionally, black media was the place to go if you wanted to promote black concepts and you want to promote black, situations, right? Like me, I went to K Slay. I went to This Is 50 back in the day because I was trying to promote my book, But if K Slay, is a independent African-American journalist, and I go to him and I say, look here, I want to promote my book and I want $25,000. It's not sustainable because first of all, we all know how YouTubes work. If you get about 10,000, you got to get at least 1 million point views. So, what I'm saying, to get 1 million point views and to give somebody 20,000, you're going $10,000 in the rear. But people like Vlad, who have the complexion for the connection, what I'm saying, he has the right, skin color, he can go to, these gambling promoters, marketing sites. And he can go to all these other sites and he can do sidebar deals and he can get $50,000, $60,000. So he can offset, giving Boosie $25,000 because what it's going to do is going to disrupt everything that black media got. So it's going to make it hard for you guys to compete with him, and it's going to make him the creme de la creme, And now that he's paying all of these artists because he's getting extra money with what they call it, promotional ads and so on and so forth, it makes it difficult for our brothers and sisters that, who found something new. The internet was supposed to be an equal playing field. The purpose of the internet is the fourth industrial revolution. You had the railroad industrial revolution. It was the fourth industrial revolution where it equaled the playing field and made it possible for brothers like ourselves who are in media, black media in particular, to create a living for ourselves. And we don't have to go to CNN. We don't have to go to ABC. We don't have to go. We had our own entity, right? And, you think about the collaboration. You look at Leo Cohen, who's formerly a Def Jam executive. Now he's the vice president over there. All them guys is in cahoots.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? And they trying to destroy black media, and they'll use people like Boosie and Tekashi 6ix9ine and all of these other guys that they got, Adam 22, all them people, man, them people, they have money. Adam 22 I was watching an interview, he said, I'm a multi-millionaire. You know what I'm saying? So these guys, they can afford to do things to create a level of competition where they can wave you guys out. So I looked at Boosie's situation. I'm glad that Boosie, kind of walked away from that situation, not in particular for the money aspect of it, in particular that, it shined a light on the backhand and the sidebar shit that goes on, within the podcast industry. How these people are using, their connections and their finances in order to, make it harder for guys like you guys.
Yeah, no, definitely. And when you see Boosie saying, I want to own my own content, so I'm gonna start interviewing myself. I'm gonna just do it myself. What are your thoughts as far as him just saying, I'm gonna get into the game and I'm gonna just do it myself as far as trying to imitate what he was doing with Vlad?
Well, I'm a former pimp, right? So me, I own all my shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to go to Vlad. I ain't got to go nowhere. I'm pimping out the gate. I'm a pimp myself. That's why my name is Pimpin Ken. I'm Pimpin Ken. Me. You understand what I'm saying? And that's how I look at the game. And that's how everybody else should look at it. Pimp yourself. You know what I'm saying? Why would you give your IP? I give this analogy all the time. My brothers, I respect y'all. But one of the things that I hate that my brothers do, they go to Atlantic, they go to Columbia, they go to Sony Music, and they give them a 85% deal. They let them give them 85%, they give them 15% royalty. Okay, so that's $1 million, that's $850,000, they get $150,000. But if I came to you and I gave you $50,000 for a Rolls Royce, you would tell me that him must think I'm crazy because the Rolls Royce costs $5,000. But what you're getting from the record label, you give him $850,000. He's making double than you would get for the Rolls Royce, and you're only getting an extra $100,000. And the problem with that situation is that if it's stupid to not give your Rolls Royce away, it's got to be stupid to not give your IP away too. And I think that that's the problem. I think that a lot of African American businesses need to focus on self-sufficiency and autonomy, owning your own. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Clyde Anderson, one of my favorite philosophers, he gave an analogy. He said, it's a difference between saying you own something and you're independent versus really owning it. A lot of these guys, that was record producers back then, had all these big records and stuff like that back in the day. You know what, Joker, they didn't own the company. They had production deals. They had glorified production deals disguised and presented as a record deal. Come on. But the record company owned all of the property, the masters and the publishing. So we got to get out of that inappropriate behavior mentality. We got to get back into the mentality of actually owning. If you go and you Google hip hop fraternity and you look at trademark, my name gonna pop up.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? I own 100% of my company, all my company. And when you own your company, guess what you could do? I done raised millions of dollars. We just built the app. We got the app. It's called HHF Social. You know what I'm saying? It takes 35 to 40 coders to code it. To build your own social media app, it ain't as easy as you think it is. But we pay, over $500,000 to have that done. But don't feel sorry for me because we were able to raise the money from our sources. Because we created a S corporation, a C corporation, we was able to get money for those stocks that we had within the company. So we sold a significant amount of stocks to investors, and Ice-T even came in as an investor at $2 million. You know what I'm saying? So we take that money and we flip that money, and we did it because we were independent. Now, if you don't own Universal, you can't raise money. If you don't own Atlantic Records, you can't raise money, but they do it all the time on your IP. They're raising money. They're going in there. They're soliciting their business partners and their potential investors, their venture capitalists, and they say, hey, look here, we own billions of dollars worth of catalog. We need $250,000. We need $250 million, and they're getting it on a daily. But you can't do it because you don't own it. Only the person who owned it, the person who control, a lot of times, they don't even own it. They just control it. Most businessmen don't own nothing. They control it.
They just
like me, I don't own my company. I just control it.
There you go. There you
know
go.
what I'm saying? For real. This is real talk.
Come on, man.
Business 101. And the sad thing about it is, bro, I talk to brothers about this all the time. And one thing I learned that business is Greek, is Latin, and French, meaning that, most people don't understand it. So when you try to teach people about business and you try to show them, what 1123 is, you try to show them how, to get on Dine and Bride, Paydex, all this stuff and how to get money and raise capital. You know what I'm saying? It goes over their head because they only know one or two things, and everybody wants to be an artist. I tell this young man all the time, dude, artists they only get 10% of the wealth. 90% goes to the business. If you look at Hip Hop Attorney is all business. We got HHF Records. We got HHF Films. We just signed with Buffalo 8. You know what I'm saying? We got a major distribution with them. We got HHF social media app. You know what I'm saying? We got all of these things, you know what I'm saying, that we control and that we run from our own perspectives.
Man, no, it's a game, real game right there. All right, speaking of game, I got to get your take on this because, of course, you see what happened down in Houston where, Drake, of course, drops his album. And then, Sauce Walker and his baby mama get into a little, situation where it comes out that technically I'm assuming that his girl was getting taken care of by Drake, apartment being taken care of, $11,000 a month, cars being bought, Maybachs, things of that nature. And, of course, it all started with a leaked phone call with Sauce saying what he'll do to Drake and all that stuff. And therefore it started being a back and forth as far as, Sauce Walker saying, hey, since it's out now, I sent her, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. From your perspective, this is the social media era, this is the game.
Well, let me give you the legal perspective, right? The legal perspective is live your life like you're on trial. Everything you say will be used against you in a court of law, right? You know what I'm saying? Don't speak on phones. I don't care if a dude say he got 100 birds, man, I got 50 of them for you. You know what I'm saying? Me, hang up on it. Because all the glitter ain't gold. And I think that's the biggest problem with most of our brothers, today is that they don't realize that everything they say will be used against them in a court of law. So when you live your life like you're on trial, you always weigh the consequences. See, life ain't what you get into, Brother Joker. It's what you don't allow yourself to get into. And, some people, they allow themselves to get into quagmires of irrelevancy, where situations be intensified. And now, you know what I'm saying, it's easy, to get out of, it's harder to get out of the situation than it is to get in the situation. Don't let a temporary situation cause a permanent problem. And I think that that's the problem with a lot of our brothers today. They think that the internet, because, they behind a computer and there's no buffers there, there's no lawyer, nobody telling you to chill out. They think that it's cool and they think they got to give everybody in the world explanation. Now, for full disclosure, Sauce Walker I'm a fan of his. I like Sauce Walker. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know that I like Sauce Walker, and I'm also, a fan of Drake's. You know what I'm saying? I like Drake. I like Drake from a different perspective. But the problem with a lot of dudes make with Drake, right? And I think that this is how people end up in sticky situations. The problem a lot of people make with Drake is that Drake is not as square as everybody think he is. Want me to explain it?
Please, go ahead.
The nigga signed to Mob Ties. He signed to the most gangsterous, you know what I'm saying, the most well-respected organization in Houston.
Come on.
His daddy is from Memphis, Tennessee. You see how he dressed, you know he a player.
Come on.
So you don't think his dad is giving him game? You don't think that Jay Prince and Jazz Prince is lacing him up? You know what I'm saying? This man is a lot more sharper than these guys think. They think because he light-skinned and he got a white mama that he's a sucker. You know what I'm saying? But if you look at it, a lot of the things that he do, you know what I'm saying, is not typical of a square.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He do a lot of stuff that's non-square. You know, like, I mean, who gets in somebody's DM and get at somebody's baby mama to get, you know, I mean, that's some hood shit. You know what I'm saying? That's some hood shit. You know, you ain't gonna never see, what's his name, Maxwell or Teddy Pendergraft in somebody's DM trying to get at their baby mama. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Drake is nothing to play with. And a lot of dudes gonna find that out the hard way. And, you know, but, you know, obviously, if that's true, you know, of course he's spending money too. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, of course, you know, I don't have a T on my forehead. I have a P on my forehead. So, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, you know what I'm saying? I don't agree with the tricking part if that's true. You understand me? But the thing that I want everybody to understand that's in the game, man, is that human trafficking is real. That these folks will take information that people say and they will use it against you. And with the feds, a lot of people understand they will put them under what they call contempt of court. And the feds, you can get up to 5 years. And they can hold you indefinitely. You could be in a federal holding tank without a case for years. So a lot of brothers got to understand, man, you know, when you're dealing with these females, you know what I'm saying, ain't nothing worse than the scorn of a woman. You know what I'm saying? Be very careful. Be very tactful. You know, be careful what you say. On the phone or off the phone. Be careful how you handle those females because certain shit will come back to bite you. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just like being sharp, you know, and stand off the internet, you know, because the internet can be your best friend, it can be your worst friend, you know. And like I said, just live your life like you're on trial. So, you know, I mean.
What about when you put it into music? You know, not only did Drake put situations into music from when you listen, you're like, that sounds like a real situation. Even Sauce made a song, put into music. Is it tactful at least to make artistic choices with it and put it in music?
Let's be real, right? Let's just go down that. Y'all want to go down that rabbit hole?
Let's go down that rabbit hole.
Drake got into it many years ago with Meek Mills.
Yes.
Everybody know how that turned out, right?
Yeah. Come on.
He got into it with Kendrick Lamar, right?
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar, we know how that turned out, right?
Come on.
But what everybody failed to realize is that Drake was strategizing and he was planning the whole situation. Not only did he go at everybody that he had plex with, he didn't do it during the time that he had plex with Kendrick Lamar. He waited till he was going to drop his album. He sued Universal Records. Not only did he sue Universal Records, he dropped 3 albums in one night with no publicity, no nothing. And he mentioned everybody that he had a problem with. What did that do? That did 10 times more damage than Kendrick Lamar or any other beef that ever been done in the history of beef.
Come on.
Jay-Z responded to it. You know what I'm saying? So-and-so responded to it. You got to remember, Drake's father is a player. This man come from good stock. So you understand me? If you want to say who had the coldest move, and who he even got Sauce Walker, everybody marketing and promoting this man, whether for good or bad, you got to say that the man ain't no lame. I'm a boss. I'm a master of game. The man, to me, he put the most game down that I've ever seen in the music industry. He got out of his record deal. He got everybody talking about him. He's number one. He beat Michael Jackson, and he put Michael Jackson glove up. I mean, what is the audacity of him putting a glove of the greatest of all times? Because he knew the strategy that he was putting down. But I remember I said positioning earlier. He positioned himself what? Not only to beat Michael Jackson record, but to get everybody on him. So really, man, if hip hop was dead, Dre gave him off the mouth. He resuscitated.
Come on,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, so but you got to be sharp to look at it. Because you can't take away Jay Prince. You can't take away mob ties. You can't take away the fact that he signed to some serious dudes in Houston. You can't take away the fact that his father is from Memphis, Tennessee, where the home of the game. So you know what I'm saying? All these things got to be factored in. You can't take away that he told the whole internet up with no promotions and no marketing. We talk about game. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, everybody gonna benefit. Sauce Walker, baby mama drama, he gonna benefit from Drake. You know what I'm saying? I mean, his baby mama, she trying to obviously get some money and benefit from it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, Jay-Z, obviously, then you don't get Jay-Z to respond.
Yeah,
so when Jay-Z respond, you know what time it is. You got to get
announced 2 more shows.
Yeah. Everybody finna Drake really gave hip hop mouth to mouth.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, and like I said, my man say, man, name 2 Drake songs. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't name them. I couldn't name them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but I told him, I said, I'm not dealing with the music because I'm a strategist. I'm a business. I'm looking at the business. Like I said, music is 10% business and 90%, 10% music, 90% business. I'm looking at Drake's business methodology and his metrics. That's what impressed me.
There you go, man. Man, speaking of positioning, Diddy was behind the camera on a sex tape that was leaked, and for some reason, again with this leak, I mean, it's very interesting to see this thing come out and Diddy, all that baby oil. A lot of people didn't know, was really for him. Like he kind of lathered himself up and watched his girl or the girls he's into get taken down by male prostitutes. And I haven't seen the tape in its entirety. I've seen clips, but from what they say, Diddy, he was the reverse of well endowed, from what people are saying. And I'm like, do you understand this from the tricks that you dealt with in the past? Like, the small pecker guys like to just, maybe get a little viewership in and not even get involved and maybe oil themselves up.
Well, I don't know exactly what's going on mentally for my brother, but I can tell you this, that whatever is going on with him, right? You know what I'm saying? It's got to be a serious issue, right? We need to pray for my brother. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying? I think it go beyond, the sexual aspects and genitals and stuff like that. I think it goes to more of a more serious problem that go beyond, the sexual.
Because he's freaky?
No, I don't. A lot of people freaky. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Diddy ain't the only freak now. Let's be clear of that.
Yeah, other people
it's a lot of freaks out here. It's a lot of Pornhub and XXX and viewers around here, man. People he ain't the only freak. But the thing is that, if you get into the baby oil, you get into, all of the other things, that you see, it just make me wonder, what's going on with this brother, mentally, right? So, I'm more concerned for my brother than I am for him being demonized or being destroyed or discredited in the public, because it's something that we probably need to really check, because I don't really see that in black men too much.
Did you ever run into Diddy? I know you had runs with
Diddy
Jay-Z.
was Diddy my partner, man. Diddy is my partner, man. Diddy did my movie, The Ghetto Streets is Exit Streets, for free.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, and Diddy, everybody laugh at this, but this is the truth. Diddy, I did a song with Loom. It did 2 million sales, and Loom was one of my partners in Atlanta. So Loom, he was signed to Diddy. So before I can get to, get him to come do my party, he had to be approved by, the Bad Boy Style. So Diddy is on the phone and we talking. I'm like, yeah, man. I said, say, man, I want Loom you know what I'm saying, me to come to my party because he asked me what did I want for the song. I said, I just want Loon to come to my birthday party. It's going to be real big. It's in Milwaukee. So Diddy was like, okay, man, cool. And he said, what publishing company you want to send the check to? I have a publishing company at the time because, you know, this was big. You know what I'm saying? This is 2 million people. So I said, man, just send it to Ken Ivy Publishing. Then I went and set it up the next day. But, you know what I'm saying? That was how me and Diddy kind of got cool. Now, the next time he called me, you know what I'm saying, he had his assistant call me. He said, say, man, we want you to come to the party. You know, Big Meech, Jermaine Dupri, everybody was there. You know what I'm saying, me? And he invited us, so he flew, me and my nigga, Paper Chase, may rest in peace. Mm-hmm. He flew us in, got us at a room at the hotel next to whatever that fucking place is called, Lenox Mall. And, you know, when I got there, you know, I didn't never see what people talk about. Diddy was a player, man. He was hollering at bitches, you know what I'm saying? Nigga had jewelry on. I mean, the shit that people saying, I'd never seen that in dude. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Then he invited me and Bishop Don Juan to he had a club in New York called Justin's. You know what I'm saying? Me. And, you know, them niggas had minks on. You know, I never...
How late did you stay at the party, though?
Oh, there you go with that shit, man. Look. Okay. You got to remember, this is at Club Kaya. Okay. This is a big club. This is not Diddy's house. So, man, everybody stayed until it closed, man. But, you know, Diddy had a VIP room. He invited me and Paper Chase to the VIP room. You know, we was up there. We all had on black suits and we was sharp as a motherfucker. You know, we kicked it, man. I never, you know what I'm saying? I done been around dudes, man. Then when after the party, I said, Diddy, I got a movie. It's called Ghetto Streets Executive. I said, man, you know, how much you gonna charge me to get it? He said, oh man, Pimpin, you know, I ain't gonna charge you. So he got in my movie, you know what I'm saying? So my experience with him has been, I mean, it's still, even, you know, what you talking about, the sex tape and all that stuff, it's hard for me to see this man that I was hanging around that was a player be caught up in all that bullshit. I mean, dude, it's like, I still don't believe it to this day because I'm saying, no, bro, when me and dude was kicking it, he was on some player shit. You know, I'm a street nigga to the heart. I mean, you know, I know weaknesses. I know all type of shit with niggas. He didn't exhibit none of that.
So whenever you round up like a player type nigga and you see that and then you find out that, you know, he goes home and gets into the cuckold and the oil.
Well, I'll tell you something that happened to me. I had a pimp partner. I can't say his name because he'd probably kill me. But I had a pimp partner, and we was in DC. We was pimping like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? He had hoes and everything. And I seen him in Milwaukee one time, and the nigga had on fingernail polish, right? Mm. And he was with a homosexual. You know what I'm saying? Me, another man, and it threw me off, right? So it is possibility that dudes can be one way, but be another way. And I never knew that he was gay. And you said prison talk. So we had a homie, he was in prison with us. And, you know, we had, in the feds, you got what you call a car. So we had the Milwaukee car. So all the Milwaukee niggas and all the Dallas niggas, everybody hung out with each other. So one of our little homies and shit, you know what I'm saying? He was hard on the streets. You know what I'm saying? He was a cold-hearted nigga, right? You know what I'm saying? Punishing nigga. You know what I'm saying? He came on the yard one day and he told us, man, he said, man, I'm homosexual. So I have seen motherfuckers who act like they's hard, but they was some, you know, woo, but then they end up turning out to be, you know, on the other side of the fence, right? You know what I'm saying? But, you know, like I said, man, I don't have no problem with that, but you see how I feel about Diddy with the oil. It's tripping me out, man, because I'm just as tripped out as y'all is because, you know, like I said, man, I didn't have that. It's crazy, bro. I just had that image of Diddy, man. When that shit started coming out, it was crazy. And anybody that didn't have a bad experience with Diddy would tell you Diddy parties be player. You know, not the house shit. I don't know about no house shit. I ain't never been in his house. But his industry parties where people from the public, his shit be the livest shit. He be up there DJing and that shit be live, man.
So I know that, you know, you've acquired a lot of money in your day, right? Right. And Diddy, he was super wealthy, right? Right. Do you think that the money had anything to play in this? Like him having so much money in him, be able to do whatever he wanted.
Well, let's take Diddy out the equation. Let me give it to you like this. Okay. When you see individuals in those industries, right? Now, I've been in the industry. You know, a lot of those white men are very crafty. You You know what I'm saying? I mean, and, you know, a lot of them, you know, they do anything for money. Now, we know that his so-called mentor, Mr. Davis, is an admitted homosexual. You know, he says he's a homosexual. He like men. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and these guys get up under these people, man. These people, you know, they real sharp. They very manipulative. They use money and they use all kind of stuff to break these brothers down to the last compound. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about a man, if a man don't have principles, he can be compromised. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so a lot of those dudes, you know what I'm saying? I think they get, you know, I mean, it was some shit somebody was showing. They had a little baby being squeezed by two men. You see that? Yeah, it was. Yeah, you seen that, right?
I seen it. That was on the Epstein shit, man.
Oh yeah.
No, this was a video where
Little baby getting hugged from 2 white men.
he getting hugged by 2 white men.
Right.
So you know, my son, he hustled, and my nephews hustled. You know, my son used to hustle. He ain't hustling no more. But he was hustling around the niggas that know Little Baby. Now, my son tell me, them niggas ain't no joke. You know what I'm saying? Me and them niggas is about that life, right? And they get money. So my son now know Little Baby now before they blow up. They hang with my nephew Tribe, you know, young nigga he out of Milwaukee, but he down there having money for real, right? You know what I'm saying? Me and he fuck with all the niggas. He fuck with all the baby them people. So you would never think of that type of images coming out based on the lifestyle that these dudes live and the shit they be involved with in the streets. So you know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's the money. I don't know if they put stuff in people's drinks or whatever the fuck they doing. You know what I'm saying? It's working for them. You know, it's making niggas trip out.
For real. Free Diddy, I guess, in regards. Bubbles, what's your take on Diddy's sexcapades?
Diddy, Lord. I think he's overly freaky. I'll say that. Some things I don't agree with. Some things I think, like I said, he's just an overly freaky guy. He is a Scorpio. Scorpios are extra freaky. So I'm going to say that.
That's the Diddy body.
I'd say I was. But that's just my take. He's just overly freaky.
What is overly freaky to you? What does that entail?
I mean, what he did, like,
no, I mean, like, minus Diddy.
Okay.
Like, you meet a gentleman and you're feeling them and y'all enter into a sexual relationship. What is too much for you? Like, what would you consider overly freaky?
Well, I'm a Scorpio too, so I'm gonna say that nothing's really overly freaky.
Push it to the limit.
But some people may say, "What's overly freaky to you, Trey?" You go ahead. You say it.
I would say this, man. I'm not gonna speak too much on what another man do.
Yeah, I didn't even want to hear what a nigga thought was overly freaky.
I don't necessarily prefer people speaking on what I do. But, you know, sometimes you gonna get spoke about because you got to get corrected one way or another. You got to progress. But, yeah, that's all I got to. But Drake is Scorpio, too, though.
Okay, Scorpios. All right. You don't have to. We understand.
I don't want to go into details. Sorry, guy.
No, it's okay. It's okay, Bubbles. When it comes to 50 Cent's baby mama, who was in this video, Daphne, she used this as an opportunity to turn up. You know, her 50 said this. Her OnlyFans went up 85%. You know, as far as the freakiness that people love to see. They're like, okay, yeah, now she on it and she's taking advantage of this opportunity. She's doing all kind of podcasts. She's everywhere. And she's like, nah, I'm still showing what y'all want to see. If y'all like that, I got more to see. Come to my OnlyFans. What are your thoughts about that as far as, you know, turning this, what looks like, oh, this is a shameful moment into, nah, I'm going to monetize this. What are your thoughts on that?
I think what she's doing, I think she's too old, honestly, to be doing what she's doing. That's just my opinion.
No, I feel you.
I mean, to have an OnlyFans, you have children that's going to grow up and see this. So my opinion, she's too old for that. But, you know, There's no age limit and freaky.
Yeah, Ken, I know you about that dollar, so
well, yeah, my thing is that, Snoop Dogg and Tupac had a song out many, many years ago. It said, everywhere I go, I see the same hoes. So you know what I'm saying? The difference between a hoe on the track and a hoe in the bed or a hoe on the streets that's free is that one get money and one don't. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a hoe, right, and if she was doing the most for nothing, I would think that it would be in her best advantage to get paid. You know what I'm saying? And if you can get paid, because apparently, right, they said that P. Diddy obviously had some type of situation going on with her, right? I don't know what the situation is, but if he had a situation going with her and, something leaked out, at this point, you're compromised. The person that I seen that benefited and used that type of situation the best was Kim Kardashian. You know what I'm saying? I like the way she handled her situation. She knew that, she was exposed and she took that opportunity, that sex tape, and turned it into an empire. So I hope that, what's her name? Daphne. I hope that Daphne, not only do, she capitalize on the situation, but she also, as Buzz say, she considered, Bubble say, she considered her children, and consider, that she got this situation going on, and that her father's the baby father is very famous. All these things you got to take into consideration. Are you going to impact that child? But like I said, everywhere you go, you see the same hoes. So a lot of these bras, man, they really just hoes, and they figuring it out in the ninth inning.
In the ninth inning, boy. Yeah. End of the road, Joe. Let me ask you.
But you know what? I work at, we got a store at Pressure at Big T's, right?
At Big T.
So being at Big T's and working with Bubbles at the store, I talk to a lot of guys, right?
Okay, yeah.
And a lot of guys come through there and all of them say, I fucked her, I fucked her, I fucked her, I fucked her, I fucked her. So a lot of guys in Big T then fuck the same bras. Damn. You know what I'm saying? And these bras is around there, they fucking all these dudes. Now, the thing with that is I'm saying, if they getting paid or is they getting laid? Ooh. Now, if they getting paid, then I'm saying, well, that's probably the best thing for you, because if you're taking life chances, if you're taking chances on getting AIDS or getting herpes or some type of disease or what have you, then you need to be getting paid for it. Goddamn. So you know what I'm saying? That's just Big T's. But I done been in California. I done been around a lot of celebrities, and I done seen, like it's some bras that we know that's famous that then had sex with a whole lot of dudes in the industry that I know personally. You know what I'm saying? I know personally, some of these celebrity chicks, they no different, right? And some of them don't get no money. You know what I'm saying? They got money and they still, wherever you go to, like Tupac and Snoop Dogg said, I see the same hoes. Yeah. The hoe is a hoe is a hoe. But some of these hoes is hobos and they tippy-toeing.
Goddamn. Now, Ken, let me ask you, they say Young Miami, her song Spin That is, a blogger has said this song is the utmost detriment to the black community. Encouraging young ladies to, boost, take, put it in the bag, run out. And it also tells young men to scam till your scamming heart's content. It got both sides. Men is singing it, women singing it. We all summer, we spinning that shit. Well, what is your take on that?
Well, I think that the establishment, the music establishment, is complicit. So what I mean by that, what is who the biggest blood you know?
My guy for Death Row, my guy Suge.
No, Lil Wayne.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Who's the biggest Crip you know?
Oh, Snoop.
So the system, right, through systemic racism and through white supremacy, they have a vested interest in giving Snoop Dogg millions of dollars and giving Lil Wayne millions of dollars, because what happens is our young people think that if I become a blood, and once Wayne put that red rag on and Snoop started Crip walking, we know that the blood and Crip Nation went berserk. Their numbers is astronomical now. So that's what the record label does. They'll finance something like that, but they won't finance Public Enemy or Chuck D or stuff like that. They'll finance stuff that's destructive to our community. So Sexy Red and Cardi B and Nicki Minaj and Young Miami, they got all these, go through Big T's.
Yeah.
My niece was telling me the other day, she said, this girl, she's 16, she's 17. She be walking around Big T's and, everybody thinks she's grown. Where is she getting that behavior from? Through the music. You walk through Big T's, you see all these young girls, panties all the way up their booty. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some of them ain't got no panties on. You know what I'm saying? That's coming from somewhere. When I was young, the young girls wore skirts to their knees. You know what I'm saying? They wore little funny shoes with the little buckles on them. They looked really square. They had ponytails and pigtails. They didn't have makeup and hair done and nails done and stuff like that. So yes, the music is very detrimental, whether it's the male side or the female side. Look what happened in Chicago. I love King Von and I love Dirt. I love all of my little homies. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Chicago. But once them brothers got to doing drill music, man, the murder rate shot to the sky. See what I'm saying? So, everything is hypnotic. If I play a song by Jay-Z right now and you hear it for the first time, you're going, I ain't feeling that. 2 weeks later, you're going to be at the club, you're going to be jamming because the program director is going to program your mind to love that music. Yeah. And once they program you, then that music become a part of your psychic, right? Well, all of this stuff that is being played, he plays some shit in the car sometime, man, that shit, I'd be like, man, I'll be turning that shit off. You know what I'm saying? Because the shit is so destructive and it's so violent and it's so wicked, right? And it just keep going and going and going and going. And we justify it, say, man, it's part of the hood. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm part of the hood too. I used to slide, I've been shot, 5 times. I probably shot a few motherfuckers back, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't rapping about that shit. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying, I've been to prison. You know what I'm saying? I did it one time. I showed some money on camera. I never did it again, but I showed a few $100,000 on camera one time. You know what I'm saying? When I was young, but you know what I'm saying? I don't do that shit no more. But they're young. It's their era. It's their time. But it ain't their fault. Yeah. See, don't blame Young Miami. Don't blame Nicki Minaj. Don't blame Lil Wayne or Snoop Dogg. Blame the record labels. They'll put that filth and debauchery in our community, but they won't sell that shit to their children, right? And they'll promote our young kids being gang members and give them millions of dollars. If Lil Wayne made $300 million off his catalog and I'm a little homie and I'm a Pyru or I'm a blood, the first thing I'm gonna do is, man, I'm gonna put tattoos on my face. I'm gonna put red rags around my thing. I'm gonna do everything Lil Wayne do because I know that's what the label wants. Correct. But what the label wants is they want all of us to become criminalized. They want all of us to be Lil Wayne's, and Lil Wayne is just doing what he do it for money. He getting paid for it, but they want us to do this shit in real life. They want our women, Miami, all of them, they don't know that. She don't know about the scamming. She don't know what she's talking about. She just talking that shit and she don't know she's influencing a lot of people because she's a very influential woman. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. The labels back that, the media back that. And now what we have a situation, we got little 13, 14-year-old girls walk around with they crotch out and, they shaking everything and twerking everywhere and got makeup and they looking like grown women and they getting pregnant at 13 and 14 years old and don't even know how to raise a child. And you know what I'm saying? Babies. And the church is complicit too because the church needs to step it up. Businessmen need to step it up. People need to do, I've been talking about this for 10 years now. I've been the same thing. I know you're gonna ask me this question. I've been preaching against this for 10 years. Yeah. And I try to tell the brothers, even in my organization, man, try this type of song. Try this type of song. He'll tell you, I was like, man, why don't you try this music? Want to make some parties, some feel good music. Come on. But it's hard to get to them.
Let me ask go ahead, Trey. What's your thoughts on that as far as the scammers keep on scamming is what she's saying.
Well, I'm not necessarily for any scamming. That's not the way I go about things, But like me, I don't listen to a lot of music that's that is perceived to be like popular by the public. I listen to a lot of other stuff, alternative music, what they call like SoundCloud stuff, and street stuff as well. And so like me personally as an artist, what I listen to sort of shapes my sound. It influences me. And I'm not gonna talk about certain things, but there are certain things that I will talk about, don't speak on, and it might not be the best for the community, but you know, tapping in with my Uncle Ken, being around him every day, the mentorship, I'm learning new things, seeing new stuff. So I'm getting like new stuff to rap about, you know.
Yeah, gotta listen. Bubbles, let me ask you, you know, you have a store that you run, when them boosting ass bitches,
Because they are there.
yeah, when they come in and try to look all slick and get to with the big ass bags,
Right.
What's your thoughts when you know young mammy puts out a song saying, "Girl, y'all go boost," and you got to deal. You have a storefront. You got to deal with these boosting ass motherfuckers.
Yes. So of course I don't like that. Of course. I've had girls come in and steal from me.
Do they be slick? Like they be trying to be like?
Yes, they're trying to distract me. They usually come like in a group when they try to steal. So they'll have somebody distracting me while the other one's trying to sneak something in their bag. It's happened when Ken was there too.
Oh, damn.
Someone is.
Yeah. You're right. They distracting everybody.
So they're slick.
Hey, I know those little bitches. Bitch, I know y'all was gonna chill like you little motherfuckers.
Yeah, can you?
I knew that motherfucker. Man, they was too sick.
Grab the mic. Yeah, can you eye a booster when you see?
No. What they do is they're coming there. And one of them been trying to flirt with you. Hey, baby, trying to make you feel like, you know, but, you know, they don't know woo to woo. You know, they don't know where I come from. So that shit don't bother me, right? And so I'm watching them. When they come, like you said, they come so many. Then I run back to the counter so I can see all of them. And then they'll say, oh, he ain't going. You know what I'm saying? But but the time they got me was I was helping another customer and they probably just grabbed the dress and left up out of there. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see them. But, you know, they come through there. You know, they try to do what they do, but you know, usually, you know, when you know the game, you know, it's hard for them to really, you know, to do it unless they go Rayfield.
Yeah, unless they go
Rayfield. If they don't run out with the shit, then you know, it's pretty much likely they're not gonna get over on me. And like I said, you know, if it get too crowded, you know, I goes to the counter where I can see more. You know, so that's how I kind of. But
Well, let's you know, again for that song, like you said, it's programming. Let's try to unprogram or deprogram that song out of our heads. That's not the song of the summer.
I actually like the song.
No, it's very catchy. They put it in a catchy little thing. That's how they get you.
But check this out. Check this out though, Joker. I talk a lot of pimp shit on albums. But if you look at my video, you know what I'm saying, and you hear my interviews, I always say I denounce pimps up and hoes down. Yeah. Because it sent a lot of young men to jail. So you could have, you could say something, but then, you know, you got the correct defect. You got to let people know that it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not going to, you know, be on a platform like, you know, like this, where I'm telling young men, you know, to get in the game. You know, when I know people like brother was saying they'll watch me for 2 hours, I'm gonna try to give them as much wisdom and knowledge and understanding as I can. But if somebody paying me to get on an album or something like that, I'll talk some shit. You know what I'm saying? Then, you know, but I try to make it where it's not, you know, like real life. Yeah. I don't say, you know, woo to woo to woo. You know what I'm saying? I'll make it rhyme. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, even in those cases, you know what I'm saying? I'll go and I get on a major platform like the Breakfast Club or like Drink Champs or like on and say I denounce pimps up, hoes down. Yeah. Because I know that it sent a lot of men to jail. And I tell young people all the time, like when the guys with me, I tell all of them, man, you know, turn them ends into dividends. You know, do something legit with your life. You say you real, then real estate is the realest shit. You know what I'm saying? Get into real estate, buy you some houses and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay if you say something, you know what I'm saying, that's not really, you know, bad, but you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, Pimp Some Hoes Down was bad.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I denounce it every time, because I know a lot of guys see me on their fly. They see me with them minks and diamonds, them pretty bitches, and they say, oh, man, I want to be like Ken, right? And even if you read my book, Pimpology, 48 Laws of Game, I show the square side and I show the street side. I always try to give it a positive commentary at the end. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's how you do things. know what I'm saying? I ain't said don't do it, but you know what I'm saying? But music, see the difference between music and video is that music can be played in your car, it can be played at the club, and it can be played in a whole lot of other places. But you know, like I said, you know, we all need to do better, including myself.
Now, early on, you spoke about you know, how long you've survived this game and everything else. You know, we had Martina up here, and she spoke on Kenny Red, and you know, his passing has been up in there as far as a motorcycle incident or versus health issues. From your knowledge, Kenny Red, he was 61 years old. What, from your knowledge, what was the approximate cause of his passing?
Man, you know, the crazy thing about that is I heard the same thing everybody else heard, you know, because Kenny Red, you know, that was my partner. You know, you got to remember, we was young men.
Yeah.
You know, in D.C., really pimping, you know what I mean? Like really, 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 really pimping, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, we lived this life, you know what I'm saying? We knew each other all the way to end. If you go to my big house I had in Milwaukee, you know, Kenny Red, all of them, they had my crib, Bishop Don Juan, you could see Kenny Red, you know, I mean, we go way back, man, like Afros and Picks, right? So I say that to say I never thought that this brother was sick. Man, this brother had muscles like Hercules. You know what I'm saying? He was looking like he was very healthy. When I heard that, it was baffling to me. Now, the motorcycle accident was one thing, but everybody else come back with the heart attack shit, you know, and said that he had the heart attack. And I was like, man, that's impossible. I said, man, dude was too healthy, you know. And you got to remember, we about the same age, so I'm thinking like, shit, I'm healthy, shit. I ain't having no heart. I don't feel funny. Ain't nothing bothered with me. And he was way more healthy in looks than me. Yeah. So I was baffled about that, but I don't really have a definitive answer to what really happened to the brother. But all I can say, man, may he rest in peace. You know, I really miss the brother. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you like I said, you know, there's some things that bad. Hey, man, hey, but you know, it's for another subject. But you know, but me and Kenny Red, you know what I'm saying, we'd have been through a couple of the same bitches. I put it to that, you know.
Come on,
me and him, you know, we done knocked each other, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a whole other interview.
You know, we had some of each other bitches and shit, you know. It was back at, me and K Red was cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Martina, like, cause she takes pride in this. Like she is this is who you would want in the game. Did she ever like come between y'all or anything like that? Or that was never that?
No, so me and Martina, we was cool. So when she was in Atlanta, she was fucking with a brother named, I ain't gonna say his name because I don't know if you want to be associated with it. You know what I'm saying? But she was fucking with this one brother, you know. He was, you know, in the game. And so me and her got to kicking in this shit, you know, and I don't know, whatever. And she had a niece, right? So Martina always bring this up. She probably gonna laugh when I bring it up. Her niece was in the game. So, you know, but me and Martina, all us went to Miami. But her niece kind of like wanted to fuck with me, you know what I'm saying? So we left Martina and I started fucking with her niece. And she was mad at me for a minute, you know what I'm saying? But it was because, you know, it was like, without putting out there, Martina is the type of person like, don't let that shit get away. Don't do this, don't do that, man. Motherfucker like you. You know how Martina is, you know, motherfucker like you, you know what I'm saying? You know, I see them looking at you, you know, type of shit. So, you know, I just seized the moment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I just seized the moment.
Come on, got to.
But that's my girl though.
Yeah,
and I fuck with Martina. And Martina, she's gonna be in my new movie with Ice-T. You know what I'm saying? Yes. She's at Ice-T. I took her out to Ice-T crib with me and we filmed that movie with Ice-T, you know, and, you know, we had a podcast together, you know, so I got a lot of footage that I'm going to be releasing with me and her on it. You know what I'm saying? We talk quite frequently, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, that's my homegirl though. That's my homegirl. She get mad at me sometimes because some people that I know she don't like, you know, I just leave it at that.
There you go. Well, we got to say it, you know, as far as you just mentioned the movie, for those that even want to see what Ken got coming up, you know, outside of Reallyfe Street Starz, I know you also want to mention, you know, when I got to shout you out because you did come through and you broke through where we had the Pimp versus a Trick.
Right.
Brought part 2 back.
Right.
Brought the pimp versus trick versus hoe. How has the reaction been on that as far as just going out and people just noticing that? Because that just went crazy.
Bro, listen. Everywhere I go, that's, I've been on multiple podcasts, but that's your podcast, y'all podcast is the only podcast that have memorables. Where people walk up to me and they tell me exactly what I said. And they say, man, I like the pimp versus trick. People really love that. And it was satire, it was comedy, it was game, it was a variation. People love that, man. It's the most responsive podcast I ever did where I got the most responses.
Yeah, none of that was planned, by the way. We just said we're going to
just... it was extemporaneous.
Yeah, we're just going to bring it together and see what it do. And mind you, that happened literally the moment of, like, do you mind sitting down with this guy who said he's a trick?
We were supposed to be meeting with Charleston White.
Yeah, and
Charleston White was supposed to come up there. Then Charleston White brother came and he had dude.
Yeah, had dude. Said he the biggest trick.
I sold dude a DVD. And he said, man, how many times you gonna send me the DVD? I said, many times you buy it, motherfucker. And then he said, man, hey man, listen, man, I'm 100% trick. What? And you was like, man, let's do that. And that's how it happened, man.
Right,
it was nothing planned. But you know what? The greatest shit is the organic shit.
Man, come on.
You know what I'm saying? But hey, I seen Will the other day. I just put him on my site. I got this new thing called On the Spot with Pimpin Ken. So if you're a rapper and you see me anywhere, you know what I'm saying? And you got some talent, I want to get you on the spot. I don't care who he is, male, female, R&B, comedy, you know what I'm saying? Joker did a little something for me. You know what I'm saying? So it's called On the Spot with Pimpin Ken. It's trending now at Real Pimp Ken _. One lady, she just did something. It did like 15,000. Another guy did like 12,000. So the shit is popping. We also do it at Pressure. So you can come to Pressure. You know what I'm saying? It's at Big T's. What's the address?
4515 Village Fair.
Come to 4515 Village Fair. And if you want to get your rap on, we're going to do it right there.
So if they see y'all at Pressure again, right next to, when you see Walk in the Middle, you might see Gym City right next to there is Pressure. If they come up and say, I'm trying to get on the spot.
Yeah.
Oh, they might get a shot. Ready.
And so if you want to join my app, I'm the first ever hip hop app social media site in the history of hip hop. So if you want to join, go to Android right now and just type in HHF Social, and you can actually become a member. You can post your videos, you can post your reels, you can DM people, and so on and so forth. So we got that started, and in the next week or two, we have it on iOS and on Amazon. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of technology went in, and we're going to also have on there where artists can actually sell your music. So we're going to have a music link where it can go to your catalog, and you'll be able to sell your music directly from that catalog. And we're going to have micro payments. We're going to have Ripple. We're going to have Coinbase. We have tokenization, and it's going to be all through cryptographic technology, which is cryptocurrency. So you can also be involved in that, and you'll be able to sell music. So in other words, with our system, our distribution system, if you sell a million records, you get $1 million. If you sell 1 million records with a streaming company, you get $12,000. Do the math. So we're building that, that's being built in real time. And also, I just got to deal with Buffalo 8. Y'all probably seen all those movies, Jeffrey Dahmer, White Klansman. That's the distribution company that's distributing all these movies. They just signed. We just signed with them. My lawyer sealed the deal. All the ink is dry. And we're going to be putting those movies out. We got the first movie coming out, Boosie's, called The Making of an Autobiography of a Celebrity. Then the next one is Rick Ross. And then after Rick Ross, it's going to be my project. And then lastly, we're going to have, Boosie. And we're looking to work with my man Gves, my man Gucci Man. Anybody that wrote a book, we're looking to work with you. And we want to put your book on The Making of Autobiography docu-series. So it's going to be on Netflix, all type of major outlets. And that's what Hip Hop Fraternity is doing. That's Hip Hop Fraternity Films. And we also have our clothing line. So we're going to be working with some other manufacturers, some other designers to revamp the clothing line. We're activating the radio and the magazine on a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? And what else we got? We got the magazine. We got the movies.
and we got. And
Are you still doing interviews, HHF? Are you still sitting down with people doing the?
Well. That is one of the things that shout out to Brother Trey, Brother Mero, and Brother S5 who came up with the concept, the making of a on the spot with Pimpin Ken.
Yeah.
Those brothers, you know, we were sitting there and they came up with the idea. So I don't want to take credit for their creative genius. You know what I'm saying? They came up with the idea, but in the process of them coming up with the idea, I'm a businessman. I went at it immediately, right? But the backdrop of that was it's going to reignite my podcast. It was Pimpin Ken podcast. I'm switching it from Pimpin podcast to On the Spot with Pimpin Ken podcast.
I like that.
So I have a lot of interviews with a lot of celebrities that I haven't put out yet. I'm gonna release those, and then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna create the graphics and all that, and we're gonna do that. I'm gonna go across the country, you know, doing interviews and shit, you know, with all my celebrity friends. And it's gonna be thanks to these brothers, you know, who came up with the concept On the Spot with Pimpin Ken. I think that's better than Pimpin Ken podcast.
Oh yeah.
You know, and but it's On the Spot with Pimpin Ken, HHF freestyle.
Let's go.
And you know, the good thing about that, and I was telling the brother, is that it gives us a live nation feel where we can create a database, because everybody we posting, we also posting their IG. So, you know, we also by default in A&R, we artists and repertoire. So a lot of labels can come, and if they want to see some of the talent, they can go right there to Real Pimpin Ken _ and they can see some of the talent that we showcasing, you know, which is good because, you know, we going to different hoods. We're going up in lion dens and we're going up in wild bulls' asses and shit. You know, we're going in the hood. You know what I'm
going
saying?
everywhere.
And we getting these young people. And I think that that's the beauty of our culture. You know what I'm saying? And that's what hip hop fraternity is all about. You know, we're about helping the little people, you know, the underdog. And that's what that's why my whole system for the last 7 years been feeding the kids for free. You know that. I feed them for free. I let them in you can watch my page, HHF Recap. I let them perform for free, and I let them park for free.
Come on.
And everybody in Atlanta think I'm a goddamn fool. They say, this man crazy. How the hell can he do this for 7 years without charging nobody? Well, you know, God gives you certain things. You know what I'm saying? And when God, to much is given, much is required. So when God blesses me, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, he blesses me, you know, just like with my sister, you know, Bubba, she said, man, come on, man. You know, you can come in my facility. Everybody know Big T's. You want to be where she at. She got a premier, she got prime real estate in Big T's. The sister, you know, invited me and Zeno, you know, they invited me to come to their establishment and work with them. You know what I'm saying? So God is blessing me, right? So I give my blessings in ways that people don't even understand.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then, you know, like I said, you
Pay
know,
it forward. Yeah.
the investors that I got, dog, how many niggas can say that they took a piece of paper and put HHF Media Group on it and sold it for $250,000, you know, 20,000, 50,000. Ain't too many niggas got that kind of level of game. You know what I'm saying? How many niggas say that Ice-T got $2 million worth of equity in their company?
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Rick Ross got equity in my company. You know what I'm saying? What's my name? My man, Young Mouth. I got 5 on it. He got equity in my company. And they also are members of, you know, Rick Ross, he's the director of book. Ice-T, he's the national advisor. And my man, Young Mouth, he's my ambassador for the Bay. So, you know, God blesses me. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So HHF is not Ken's organization, it's God's organization. My organization is backed by God. Hip Hop Fraternity is backed by God. I have nothing to do with this. I don't have the creative genius or the intelligence to put something as immaculate as the Hip Hop Fraternity together. You know, I would have never thought about putting no HHF social media site together because that's competing with Mark Zuckerberg, right? And Facebook. But God said do it, right? I would have never think about having a clothing line competing with Gucci or Louis Vuitton, but God said do it, right? I would never think about competing with Similar and Lionsgate, but God said do it. So everything I do, bro, is on God. So when I give these guys opportunity and they walk up here, I give them a free platform where they can spit their stuff and they can say it, and I put it on, to put it into my ecosystem, all my people. It's because God said do it.
Oh man, no, that's like you said, God said do it. Put that on a shirt, man. I appreciate what I want to do before we get out of here. I want to make sure I get Bubbles and Trey. I want to make sure we get y'all social medias once again of how people need to find y'all, follow y'all, see what y'all got going on.
Plain Trey DFW, man, or Ben Tager on Instagram, man. Yeah, HHF on the spot. It is what it is, man.
Come on, let's go.
And you can find me at Jan Bubbles on Instagram or just stop in at Big T at Pressure.
There you go. Simple like that.
Real Pimpin Ken _.
There you go, man. With that being said, we got to say, man, we appreciate y'all coming through. Trey, Bubbles, and Original, the only one, Pimpin Ken. You guys on the couch, we got to say it. You are some Reallyfe Street Starz. Let's go.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Starz, nigga. Move it. Hey.